What's good, everybody? It's your girl, Shar, and I just want to thank you for tuning in to episode 9 of the Surviving Your 20s podcast, where my mission here is to teach you how to survive, thrive, and more importantly, live your best life in your 20s and beyond, because these principles will help you throughout your whole entire life. I'm so glad that you guys decided to join me today on this marvelous day, whether you're listening in the AM, the PM, the afternoon, wherever you are listening from. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have a super great episode for you guys because I'm gonna be talking about New York. I know I gave a brief description about who I am, where I'm from, and yada yada yada, but this episode I'm specifically dedicating to New York, and I'm just gonna get right on into that. But before I do, I want to give you guys some updates because a lot has been happening since we last spoke. Number one, if you're watching online live, you can see that I have a iPhone 7 in my hand, iPhone 7 Plus. Y'all, my phone broke. And I learned a lesson. I learned a lot of lessons through that. I was going to share on Instagram, but the lessons were too lengthy, so I'll share it on the podcast. So I went that day to do an engagement photo shoot and video. So it was a surprise engagement. It went really well. I came back, and then I think it was a day when it was super hot, and I was outside with my man and his friend. Right, Carrie? You was there. And we were talking, and I was like, oh, it's about to rain. And I put my phone on top of the car and went inside the car. Guys, we drove all the way to Popeyes. And then I realized that my phone was not in my hand, and I was so mad. So I got out the car like, where is it? I pinged it, and I heard it. So I'm like, it has to be in the car, y'all. It was on top of the car in the rain, chilling. It worked until the next day I went to church, and then it started glitching out, and then it just broke. And so here I am with an iPhone 7. And there's a lot of things that I learned. One, that I'm not that hype and geeked up about phones as I used to be. I usually was like, oh, I gotta get a new phone. I gotta be walking around with the newest phone. But now that I have 2 cameras and I work with a lot of equipment, I realize that the iPhone is a scam. No shade. I love iPhones, I do, but who's paying $1,000 for a phone? Like, I could pay if you're buying a phone for pictures, you might as well get a camera. So that's the advice I have for you when you're trying to look for the next iPhone Pro 13. I mean, if you got it, flaunt it. If you want it, you can have it. But now I see why these billionaires be having regular phones. Like, you would never see them upgrade or care to downgrade or whatever. They don't care. Like, give me a phone. As long as it can make calls, I'm Gucci. And now I see why. Because when they hit me with that insurance claim, I'm like, looks like I'm going to be having this phone for a minute. But yeah, so that's something that happened to me that I thought was really interesting. So if you guys are tripping over the latest gear and stuff, I think the same principles apply. What you think, Carrot?
No comment.
No comment? I think it applies because people be fiending for new stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I say this. Get stuff that will make you money.
You were scared of the rain. That's why your phone is not working right now.
Yeah, and not everybody's Jamaican and bathes in the rain. Pow.
Once you saw the rain coming, once the first raindrop hit you, you went in the car.
Okay, but then guess what?
If you would just focus.
All right, the ADHD was kicking in. I can't be mad.
Send to your chi and be like, what do I have?
Says the one who threw out his suits. Let me tell you, Carrot throws out everything. Y'all don't know this, but Carrot throws out everything. He reminds me, like, my father he did this all the time. My father would see stuff on the table and fling it on the floor. Pick it up, Stephen, pick it up. Carrot is like the same way, but in a more dysfunctional way. Because my father, at least he throws it on the floor so you can see it to pick it up, right? Because it's not supposed to be there. Carrot would literally just put stuff in the garbage. Oh, this don't look like it's there. Throw it in the garbage. Throw it in the garbage. Throw it in the garbage. Who does that? So we were doing something. We were like cleaning out something, and he threw his suits to take to the cleaners in a garbage bag. Then what happened was he dumped his suits in the garbage, and then like a couple 30 minutes later, he's like, "Where's my suits?" My son had to run back to the garbage because he didn't have his suits. He threw it in the garbage. So if you're talking about me being scared of rain, talk about how you threw your suits in the garbage because you play too much, and that's that. I look before I throw out. You throw out based on if it's sitting there too long. Is that a good excuse? You have something to say for yourself?
I'm a minimalist.
No, yeah, you're gonna be a minimalist with nothing because you don't throw it all in the garbage. Now, guys, I'm done off carrot, but that's my point. At least God provided me with a backup phone. You know what I'm saying? I have like 3, so that's great. I'm not really tripping off of a phone. But anyway, guys, on another note, I'm going to be talking about New York City. As you guys know, I'm from New York. All my people out here say if you're from New York.
Dirty New York.
Stand up. Stand up. We from New York. And I love saying I'm from New York. But better yet, I love saying I'm from Brooklyn. I just feel the vibes when I say, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be having my New York slang and twang on this podcast for this episode. I usually try to talk like, not properly, because the way I talk is proper, period. But I'm going to really be bringing out my accent. You know what I'm saying? So they say that if you could survive in New York, that you could live anywhere. And I see why they say that, because there's so many crazy things that happen. And for this episode, I'm going to be telling you the ins and outs of New York as someone who was born and raised in New York. So one thing that I would like to start off with, 2 days ago, there was a shooting on the New York City subway. I have a lot of thoughts about this specifically because I'm a person that I started taking a train. First of all, I was always on the train. Like, one of my favorite stories is that, like, I was 4 years old and I was singing on the train and I thought I was going to be a superstar. You know, not thought. I am going to be a superstar. But, I love the train. It gives me, like, all the New York City vibes, just being on a train and everything like that. But unfortunately, like, around 8 during rush hour time, there was a man named Frank James who decided to shoot the train. Like, he threw some gas, had a gas mask, and like was really shooting. And I saw the video, and like, this could be a trigger warning. You know, if you do take the train, you might not want to hear this, but honestly, it's a reality. And it never hit me that it was a reality until I saw the video. Like, there's so many crazy things that happen on the train, but you would think like, oh, it could never be my train, or it could never be me, or it would never be me. And the truth of the matter is, like, you genuinely don't know. Like, and this is not to discourage people from riding the train, because obviously you could get into a car right now and something bad can happen too. It's just a little scary because, like, you're underground. You know what I'm saying? How can you contact your family? How can you do this? So it's a lot of things that come into play when you're taking the train. But mainly, I just felt like I wanted to shed light on this because, like, this man literally intentionally came from Pennsylvania. He was driving from Illinois, actually, according to his YouTube channel. Was driving from Illinois, came to Pennsylvania, had a U-Haul truck. He was doing the most, and he decided like he's going to shoot up the train. What was very surprising about that for me was that he was a black man. Like, usually when you hear mass shootings, you like, okay, definitely it's going to be somebody else, not one of us. But it was a black man, and I just think, not to justify what he did, I think he's crazy. Because he genuinely wanted to get caught.
Crazy 1, 2 licks. Crazy or not crazy.
Yeah, I think he wanted to get caught. And my heart goes out to the people who actually...
Nobody died, right?
Nobody died.
That's a God.
That's God. His gun jammed. Nobody died.
Jammed? He got off a lot of shots.
No, he got off a lot of shots. But I'm saying, thank God his gun jammed after, because more people would have died because he wasn't stopping.
Babe.
Yeah.
God is a good guy.
He is a great God.
Did you see the interview with the dude that the shot came through his jeans pants right here?
No.
And he didn't shoot him.
Okay.
Like, he He had to be God because I think he got off like 30 shots.
Yeah. And I think the thing that he meant for evil, like the smoke, kind of worked out in other people's favor. Because if he had like clear shots and people knew who he was, someone probably would have tackled him. But my thing is like, it's a traumatic experience just to hear about, knowing that I took the train before, right? And then I had a friend like that was her stop on the train. That part was like, whoa, like if I had a lot of people on Facebook saying like if they were on time for work, like it would have been clipped, like they would have been on that train. And like I feel like we spend too much money for the trains for it to not even be guarded, you know, like with police. It makes me really shaken up. Like if I had something to do, like I'd take an Uber before I take the train. That's just me. Cause looking back, going to high school, I feel like God really saved me. You know, I wasn't as aware. Like you think you're aware as a child, but then as you grow up, you be like, well, I was kind of aware, but not as aware of my surroundings. Like you just think like, yeah, I'm from New York. I mean mug somebody and they gonna leave me alone. But that's not always the case. And that's why I appreciate me living out of the state. Like I love where I'm from. I love the environment. I love the vibes. I do. But one thing you cannot get in New York is somewhat peace of mind. Like if you grow up there and you live there your whole life, something that you can't do is focus. Like me living out of the state realized how much I could focus, how much time I have to hear my thoughts. You know, I'm not fighting with people. I'm not arguing over $5 tuna sandwich. I'm not doing, I really have peace. And I could speak on the fact that, I believe every person who is from New York should probably try to find a way to see something different. Because if you live,
that's not all in New York. That's for like the people who don't really move from New York.
What do you mean?
Because you have a lot of people who live in New York, but they travel a lot.
Yeah.
And then you got a lot of people in New York that don't leave New York.
That's true.
And that's the bad part. That's bad for them.
That is, because then you'll think like everywhere operates like that. For me, I know for a fact that New York is like hustle and bustle, and everywhere else is not like that. Like during the pandemic,
nowhere else is
like that. During the pandemic, right? Target outside there on North Strand. The line is mad long. Even just now with that COVID test saga, when they was fighting them people for the COVID test, that would never happen in where I live. It would never happen because one, people, it's like you got to really be fighting. Like imagine fighting for a COVID test. Like for real, it's free. You got people like mushing you for a COVID test and not even thinking like, yo, I could catch COVID because I'm like this close to this person. See, you're a transplant. You came from Jamaica and you're here.
Wow.
You're a transplant. You have no idea how the system works.
You really just called me a transplant?
You are. You were not born here. You don't know.
Your Jamaican card is revoked.
How is
You're now 20% Jamaican.
How?
You're a transplant.
Yeah, I am.
I can't believe you just called me the T word.
Okay, well, you got to accept it. As much as your accent got better, baby.
I'm working on my English.
But you don't got it like how I got it.
Catch me in 2030.
You're messing me up. I remember, I think it must have been like my senior year. And there was a transgender person sitting across from me, and this is the thing about New York, like if somebody stare at you, you be staring back, you know what I'm saying? You kind of be like, okay, but you don't have to do it in such a negative way. Like, so this dude was staring at me, so I'm like, okay, maybe I should move, so because I don't know why he's staring at me, or she, or whatever it wants to be. See, this is why I stay away from these topics.
You don't know who he was, so you all right.
Okay. So he was staring at me, and so he was like real big or whatever. He was like, yeah, I'm staring at you, going in. I was with Sunshine at the time, and he was arguing with me. I was arguing back. I said, okay, but mind you, my heart was beating because I'm scared, because deep down I know like this is a man. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how he was dressing or whatever. So I'm like, okay, like I'm getting scared, but I was still arguing back in real New York style fashion. And then he said, I'll take out my knife and stab you right now. Ciao. I don't know. Like, I don't know what got into me. I was just like arguing. I still was arguing back with him. He was talking about, he said something. Oh, that's why your hair messed up. No shade. My hair was messed up, but it doesn't matter. I'm in high school. And I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm coming from a job interview right now. Da 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 da. I said, yeah, you're coming from a job interview with a Louis Vuitton, $5 Louis Vuitton scarf on your head. Like, boy, bye. Like, I was going in. And in my head, looking back, now I should have just shut up. Because he really could have took out a knife and stabbed me. Like, knowing him, knowing his size, knowing who he is as a person, probably has to defend himself. Probably would have stabbed me. Now, being in true New York fashion, I felt like I had to argue back with him. And that's the problem. And something I still got to get out of myself, even in my relationship, is being so defensive and arguing back. And I feel like New York has done that to me. And I cannot blame nobody else but New York. Sorry. Always got to defend yourself. Always got to stick up for yourself. Always got to argue back with people because they be trying to play you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you in the city. You trying to play you. You know what I'm saying?
Take off that mic.
I'm getting passionate. So I feel like my defensiveness, and I'm still working through it, praise God, right, Carrot? It comes from just being in this place where you always have to be like fighting for your space. So I'm going to bring it right back around to Frank James. One thing I don't like is how being a person who hopped the train station style.
Got too much train stories.
I got too much train stories, but being a person who hopped the train station, the turnstile, right? Got a ticket at the age of 16. They took it out my taxes at the age of 21 or 22. I find it hard to believe that the cameras was not working on that train station stop. Like, you literally gave me a ticket that I had to pay back when I was a grown adult because I refused to pay it as a child. And you took my taxes out. New York City, you took my taxes. Why was that camera
like you want
not working? I want my money back because the New York, we cannot be doing this to our people. I'm glad that they found him. Yay, go ahead, New York. Took too long to find a description of the man, simply because the train station cameras were not working down there,
and they did not stop the cart.
And they didn't stop the cart, right?
They didn't stop it early enough to catch him.
Yeah.
You know they have a way to lock the doors or whatever they do.
Yeah.
But again, it's good because I don't even know they stuff set up, but just thank God nobody got hurt.
Thank God nobody got hurt. But at the
and it's actually 33 shots.
Yeah.
And some of them, they were a lot of close calls, but it wasn't like. And then it's probably just God showing them like, yo, you need to fix these systems.
You need to fix these systems. Like, you cannot have millions of people who use the system as a way to get to and fro to work and home and to different events that happen in the city, to spend their money to bring and generate income into this whole economy. You charging $275 for people to get on a train and the cameras don't work. Like, how am I supposed to move knowing this? You know what I'm saying? How? Yeah. To me, that's wild crazy. Like, as a person who used to take the train, I just feel that to me, that's wild crazy. Like, taking people money, stopping them, ticketing them. At this point, you should just if you cannot put cameras up to ensure people, they got Wi-Fi down there, bro, but cannot put cameras up. You got Wi-Fi in the train now, but you cannot put cameras up. Like, priorities is all over the place. And it shows you that they're not really doing checks as they should. Instead of harassing people on the street, you should be down there making sure that the people of New York are safe. And Eric Adams is the mayor, right?
Yeah.
And he was out here like, oh, we got him. You know, we're not going to call this a terrorist attack. We're going to call this an act of terror, whatever he's saying. Somebody in the comments was like, listen, yo, where were the cops? They just be chilling with no mask on outside. And this is no shade to New York City cops. I know there's people out there really doing their job. I don't got no beef with cops. Cops don't got no beef with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about that lifestyle. The good ones are good and the bad ones, leave them in the hands of the Lord. But I just feel like if this is a train, it shouldn't take for it to be Brownsville or Saratoga or Sutter or, you know what I'm saying, a train station that's hot for you to have cops there. Because you go on Sutter right now, there's 3 cops standing there for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they be having cops on Sutter all the time. Cops everywhere, but in these quote unquote nice neighborhoods, we don't need cops. No, you need cops everywhere. This is a city that's mad big, full of crazy people that come from all over the place. Okay, you could be looking at somebody on a train and they're really mud. Take it from me. I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay.
Yeah, the train. But then New Yorkers love the train too.
I still like the train. When I go there, showtime, you know. Showtime. I love the train. I just feel like this is just a tragedy that happened. And we are not Jesus. We cannot see the future or, prevent the inevitable from happening, right? You cannot do that. But what you can do is have practices in place so that when the inevitable does happen, you're prepared for it. Having no cameras not working, that's a dub for me. You know what I mean? Does this mean I will never take the train again? No, it just means that this is like a reality. And sometimes I saw a post that said like how to survive in New York. So I'll tell you some of the tips that they had, and I'm going to share it with you right now. Because how to survive in New York, you got to stay alert, okay? You got to stay woke. You can't be caught lacking or slacking. And for the tourists, I got something to say to y'all. Keep it moving. Pull your camera out to the side because you will get knocked over, period.
New Yorkers just be hating on the tourists.
Nah, these tourists got to keep it pushing. Rule number 1 when you in New York, how to survive, you're always in someone's way. Walk fast. That's a fact. Get out of my way. I got somewhere to go. I know you here on vacation, mama, but you get run over, period. You laughing, but I remember being in the city, like going to school in Harlem, like I was moving on 125th, moving mad quick because like I got things to do. I don't know why people be walking slow.
New York, half of New York ain't got nothing to do. They just move fast.
But we move with oomph. We know
nowhere.
We know how urgent things are.
New Yorkers don't be going nowhere.
You think so?
That is 100% fact.
No, let me tell you.
New Yorkers who really grind, get up and beat traffic. Every New Yorker that's just on time is just the average New Yorker.
But I don't think we just on time. Here's the issue. These lunch breaks be so short, plus the crowd. So you go from here to here. You don't have enough time. So you really rushing because they don't even give you enough time.
You know what's funny about New York? That I kind of know the movements in New York more than you. Even though you're going to violate me and say I'm a transplant. Yes,
you a transplant.
I'm a transplant, but this transplant knows New York better than you.
Okay.
Isn't that a fact?
I can't say confirm or deny. You drop me in any New York circle, I could pick a slang. You don't.
No, I'm talking about logistics.
Logistics as in what?
Movements, like the different areas in New York.
All right, congratulations. You've been here. You've been driving around.
Listen, let me tell you.
What you want, a flower or something?
See.
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying, a New Yorker will rush you and beep you at the stop sign to pull over when they cross the light. Where are you rushing to? Just sit in their car.
It doesn't matter.
It's just a drug.
Okay.
And we know that to be true because we was in a different space one time where people weren't rushing, and you were the only one in a crowd of 20 people that tried to beat the light. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
But Charlene, you don't remember you being in a crowd of people?
I don't remember. When was this?
On vacation.
What, in Canada?
And I had to give you a pep talk.
What, to beat the light? To go?
No. You had to give yourself a pep talk to like, why am I rushing? Nobody tries to beat the light. New York.
But I get why people. To me, I get why people rush. I was working at a job. I had literally 30 minutes to get my food. I get out of my way so I could eat. This is not even a lunch break. Okay, that's what you think. They don't be doing nothing. Listen, bills got to be paid and things got to get did. Okay, New Yorkers be doing stuff. Some of them don't. I'm not gonna lie. A
bum in New York be rushing. Everybody in New York rush.
He don't rush.
It's a culture. It's like everybody got a culture. The culture of New York is you move fast.
You got to move fast though.
But sometimes it's pointless. If you're organizing New York, you don't need to move fast.
That's what you think. You still got to move fast.
If you show up 30 minutes early to every place you need to be in New York, you don't need to rush. But if you plan to be just on time, you're going to be rushing.
And that's what people don't get. They're going to be rushing all the time because you have people. And let's not forget they can't drive that good. So you got to be careful because it could be an accident on a BQE. It could be an accident anytime because it's too much people. I think some of these people got to go.
Nobody got to go short.
No, they got to go.
The people that rush in New York are the people who are just on time. And New York got a history and a culture of rushing. Crazy people be telling you to move out of their way. They not going nowhere. That's what New York is. Everybody is rushing.
I think we have a sense of entitlement. Like if I'm trying to go from this avenue to this avenue, just get out of my way. I don't want to see no people blocking me. That's just a thing. People are annoying sometimes. You don't want to be in.
It's just the culture of the place.
And it's
like how Jamaicans have a culture of being
here
aggressive.
Here he go. He trying to bring Jamaicans
Nah. Jamaicans got a culture of being aggressive.
Very much so. Y'all Jamaicans are the most aggressive Caribbean island. If not,
so even if
they are aggressive.
Even if a Jamaican is calm, you be like, just wait, it's coming.
It's coming. Mad
and
aggressive.
And that's just the same thing with New York. Not everybody in New York rush, but it's just a rush.
Those who rush. What's the rush? That's the insider. No shade. The crackheads do be rushing too. They the main ones. They be rushing for real. No shade. They be rushing the most.
Walking over the horizontal to get their crack.
Rushing. But let's talk about that because I feel like sometimes people are rushing to their death. I'm not even gonna lie, because you have this man. I saw this video. It was on the Brooklyn Bridge. He was rushing and then he ejected himself through the car, and nobody else died. He's in critical condition, and that's what rushing does in New York. Sometimes it's really pointless. Like me, I've learned because I live in another state. Nobody's rushing me. I'll move to the side 6 times, mop the ocean once, and bite concrete before I rush in New York. Because you're not gonna stress me out, and you're not gonna get on my nerves because I'm walking slow. I realize sometimes it's no point. You get what I'm saying? You're doing the most, and then you end up being late because you were doing the most.
Yeah, and you know, I'm telling the truth because it'll be many times I'll be driving and somebody going crazy, and I say, look how we gonna catch them at the light.
Yeah, and we catch them right at the light. Because they just can't, they don't get it. And they feel like they could beat it. I don't know if they think that they're Formula One drivers.
Like New York is not a highway.
It's not a highway.
It's
just
a place full of stop signs.
A whole bunch of crowds. A whole bunch of apartments stacked on top of each other. Like
the only person who can move fast is the fire truck. Because you literally got to stop.
You have to get out their way.
If you're not the fire truck, trust me, you can't just envision that you're going to be here in 5 minutes and get there. You better leave early.
But here's the thing about being in New York in itself. What I since moving to another state, what I really realized is that I was doing nothing there. New York has this vibe of you feeling like you were doing mad stuff because it's moving, right? And it's moving real fast. And then you sit down and you feel like I've done so much with my day. And then you sit down like I did so much today. And then you come back and you realize you wasn't doing anything. You weren't doing a thing. And so I had to separate myself to understand that there's a thing with actually doing stuff and there's a thing with fake doing stuff. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it could be so loud and so noisy and so distracting that you really don't realize that you're not meeting your goals or having any specific deadlines, because and also your goals could be attached to somebody who's actually doing something. So just because you're in this crowd, you feel like you're doing something because you're attached to this crowd, right? Whereas if you by yourself, because the truth is, I wouldn't classify myself as alone in this state, obviously, because I have you, Carrot, but I do feel like this is a nice vibe. You know, I can hear birds chirping right now. You know what I mean? I could go to sleep without ba-dum, boom, doom, ba-dum, ba-dum, doom, ba-dum, doom. You know how much times I wanted to go to sleep and somebody playing like Vibes Cartel next door? Like literally the apartments are mad close to each other. If they're doing something in there, I can hear what they're doing. Like I don't want to live like that. I'm sorry. I've tasted and seen, and that's not the way I want to live my life. I feel like if you live in a house in New York too, some of these houses be connected. So it's like they don't even have enough space, enough land, enough separation for me anymore. I always said like I'm gonna be a New Yorker until God makes me move to California or whatever, or somewhere else. But nah, I'm not buying no house in New York because I just can't. Like, the people are absolutely too close to each other. There's rats in the walls. There's roaches everywhere. And the rats are mad thick. Like, there ain't no mice, like, and those mice, those mice have no chill. Those New York mice plays no games. One thing about, I'll give the roaches some credit sometimes because they come out in the dark. So if you have but sometimes they be showing themselves up when you have a guest. They want to come out and greet the guest and say, "What's up?" You know what I'm saying? The roaches be treacherous, but the rats are even more ridiculous. They live in the radiators. They live. Don't have no foil paper out. Make sure you throw your bacon, egg, and cheese wrap in the garbage because those rats will come for you. Like,
Are we moved from the train to your bacon, egg, and cheese?
No, babe.
I can't talk about New York with you for nothing because you just have a whole history in New York.
Yeah, but back to my point, like, being here in another state, I realize that I'm accomplishing more because I don't have people calling me like, come to your house to chill, to do X, Y, and Z, because people will want you to be following behind them, getting up. What you doing today? Oh yeah, come to my house. We gonna watch movies at my house. Like, that, to me, at a certain age, I just don't feel like that was advancing me in any type of way. And not saying that I don't want to go to people's house and have a good time, or I don't want to hang out, or I don't want to chill with you. It's just that, like, at what point is this chilling going to stop? You know, because it was an illusion for me, because I thought I was chilling with people and they were going to be riding for me to the end of the time. But then I found out the chilling was just blind chilling. It's not like we chilling and working on a project or working on talking about our goals. We just chilling, and you could get caught up in that vibe. And so I would highly recommend for people who live in New York to just try to find a group. If you're there, find a group that's actually doing what you're doing. So the good thing about this, like, is if you're a creator and you create content, like, you could hook up with someone who actually does the same thing as you, and then you guys can have like purposeful meetups. The bad thing about it is you could get sucked up into the crowd, because the thing about these people up here is that they want you to be in tune with what they got going on. Am I lying? If somebody got going on, if someone has something going on, they be like, yo, come to my. But when you have something going on, they ain't coming.
Classic New York. You know
they ain't coming.
You know,
they'll make you buy tickets and everything. Yo, bro, yeah. We gonna support. When I come, yeah, you can come to my stuff. I come to your stuff. We gonna show love. It's the Brooklyn way. Juju. They ain't coming. They want you to be a fan, and so you gotta understand.
That's just New York. It's corny. It's
very corny.
It's very corny.
But you could get caught up in it. Like, yeah, I got bros. I got my sis.
You have to win them over, but it's kind of stupid, because let me show you, like, you have to be able to, like, create by yourself and invest in yourself. Mm-hmm. Because if you go around them, they'll try to take your money and not give you any help. Yeah, I know. I learned that the hard way by going to open mics in the city. I used to be going to open mics every Monday, mm-hmm. thinking that it was the wave, right?
Yeah. All right, you was going to open mics every Monday, singing your heart out.
What?
You want to sing it for us?
Anyways, so, like, I used to reach the sign up sheet, and I used to be like 10th. Yeah. On the sign up sheet. I was dedicated to this open mic thing. I was trying to find every nice open mic in the city. And so say I'll be signing up like number 21. Mm-hmm. And number 21 don't get called until like 1 a.m. Mm-hmm. 1 a.m. in the morning, when there's just like a few people left. Mm-hmm. I was like, dang, I need to get the list early.
Okay.
So I realized that this little Chinese dude, he's always getting on the list early.
All right.
So I like, you know what? I'm going to come early.
Okay, you're going to come early.
So I went, the list was out at 6 p.m. I was down there at 6 p.m. I was number 2 on the list.
You number 2, okay.
You know, when this lady started open mic, She called like 5 people. 10 p.m. happened. She didn't call me. I'm like, she come. I'm like, hey, I'm second on the list. How I didn't call my name?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, give me a sec. And then I found it was a scam.
It's a scam.
They putting up their friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they gonna have you there and let you get thirsty, buy a drink, buy some chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is how these people make their money. This is not about you getting an opportunity.
No, definitely not.
It's
about finessing.
It's about finessing.
So your friends come up, they sing, they do whatever, and then you don't get to go until like 1 a.m.
How I know? I saw this girl. She was there too. She was one of them girls who could sing. She a fire singer.
Mm-hmm.
And she was singing with Kanye Sunday service.
Okay.
For the whole time. And I said, she a fire singer. She ain't never got a solo.
Okay.
And I'm saying, like, if you don't have something to bring, what my studies show, like, if you don't have something to bring to the table that you have.
Yeah.
In New York, nobody's really interested in you.
Nobody.
If you don't build something and start something, you can forget it. That's what I learned.
Yes.
Because this girl is fire.
Yeah.
And she was singing backgrounds on the Sunday choir.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday service choir.
Yeah.
Not one tour did they give her a lead role. And it's because if you don't have certain connections in certain, that's how New York works. So if you don't build something for yourself,
right,
nobody ain't looking.
Nobody ain't looking. So that's why I feel like God had to show me, like, stay by yourself. So that way, when you do approach people, yeah, I have 100 and some episodes on my podcast. Or I have a studio set up in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Me and my husband have a production company. I actually made this t-shirt. See what I did? You got to promote yourself. It's my podcast, baby. I actually made this shirt for my pastor. Shout out to Pastor Heston. I made a shirt and it says Called and Chosen. I made it for his sermon. So I have a print tree at home. I have so much things going on so that when you approach me, I'm not fiending to be in your stuff because I got my own stuff going on. And I'm not fiending to have an entourage of people behind me with my stuff. Does that make sense too? Because you could be doing your stuff. Like, you have a whole studio set up. Carrot is not interested in having people just sit here and say, bro, I'm coming through, because that's not how you make it. Sometimes it's like you build something for yourself, and then the people that's supposed to be come along with you, they're gonna come along. You understand?
That's a fact. That's how it works. In New York,
because people not interested, and more times than ever, they trying to make it to the top. So they'll have fans, and they'll make you share their posts, and they will never like your stuff, never share your stuff, never be on top of your stuff, because they don't want you to win. And so when you be by yourself, I remember this Jamaican on TikTok was like, you must learn to be by yourself and build. Stay by yourself. And I was like, yo, I feel that 100%, because sometimes you feel like you got to be connected to this person and this person, and if I show them all my talents and
not in New York,
because if you,
because you know what they was doing, like they come in like, yo bro, come to my open. Mm-hmm. I'm artists at the open mic selling you ticket to their open mic. Mm-hmm. Because this was like one of the biggest open mics in the city. I'm telling you about.
Give them a shout out.
Hell no. Nah.
Shout out to your open mic.
Hell no. Nah. I used to be going to all the open mics. There was an open mic I went to once. I went on at 3:30 a.m.
How many people was in the crowd?
Like 4.
But you sang though, and that's what's important. You must learn to be by yourself and build. I
was like, never again. I'm not waiting this long to sing. There got to be another way. That's how I went to SAE. I'm like, yo, I got to learn to mix. Shout
out to SAE.
Yeah, that's a shout out right there. Shout out to SAE.
What does SAE stand for?
What does it stand for again? School of Audio Engineering.
Praise the Lord. Shout out to SAE. You was by yourself, right?
Whatever, Sean.
Building.
So that's how I learned to, because I said, if I could produce my own songs and put them out at a great quality, the chances of me getting more attention and more like exposure for my music is greater than me running behind
and being in
think that somebody's gonna see me and be like, oh, you can sing so well.
Like, this is 1970. I know you wanna leave me, like you on Motown, but I refuse to let you go. And they're gonna be in the audience like, that's a start. Like, no, where you're finding stars now is specifically on the internet. So if you could do your stuff, not specifically, but yeah, you promote yourself, you get a little following, you have a little clout. You know what I'm saying? You put your own songs on Spotify through whatever app you use, and you have something for yourself. So that's my thing about New York is like I'm not running behind people, and I know people still be trying me till this day. Like, you busy? You free? Yo, even if I'm not doing a thing, I'll say this over and over. To survive in this city, you gotta be doing something for yourself at all times. They will violate you if you're overly available. You know, there has to be some mystery to you. Like, people cannot just be having access to you left, right, and center. You busy? Yeah, I'm busy. Busy working on myself. Especially if you're someone who has an actual goal and you trying to go somewhere, you have to be by yourself. Nobody's gonna tell you that in New York. They're gonna tell you, come follow behind me.
Yes, I was saying, like, a dude invited me to his open mic. Like, yeah, I'm doing a set. He's selling me a ticket for $20 to come through.
Okay.
He seen me sing at the open mic. So this is my thing now. Hear me. I said, bro, could I do 2 songs? He's like, nah, bro, the slots are filled up.
Okay.
Like, bro, how am I a singer and you want to make me a fan? Hell no.
Did you buy a ticket?
Hell no.
Heck no. We're Christian over here.
I'm from Jamaica, but I say I know I can't tell the difference.
Okay. I be saying it too sometimes.
Nah, but I didn't go. But this is what it is. Is like, I think it's stupid. It's like, I don't think BMW is going to Toyota.
No.
Like, if we do music, don't sell your music to me.
Don't sell it to me.
We're in the same industry.
I don't care.
I'm not going to run and tell my friends.
No.
Unless we working together and stuff like that. I'll share it if you say share it, but like, we're in the same industry.
Same field.
I'm not going to bring you 20 more new fans.
And my thing is,
you got to send it to somebody who like and just listen to music. I don't listen to music like that. I'm very selective because sometimes I don't want to hear no music. Sometimes you start opening up, I'm like, shut up. Please shut up. I don't want to hear no singing true. Right now. You can't, come on, because my ears I'm in that room. Like, I don't want.
You want a break, right? I feel, for me, majority of the people that I know that do photography and video is all outside of where I'm at. Because people will want you to be running behind them. You know what I mean? I appreciate the people who share information freely and they actually care about your development rather than using you for their personal gain. You know? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So me and you both do the same thing, but I want you to be a fan of me. Where they do that at? In the Big Apple, baby. I want you to do you do the same thing, but I can't congratulate you until I make it before you, and then I might put you on. And no. The worst part about it is if they make any sort of advancement, they make any sort of little movement, they try to stunt on you. Like, bro, it just takes one thing for me to get to where you are, or 2 things. You know what I'm saying? But they'll try to, those same people that you was with, even if they were shooting in the gym with you, they'll try to stunt on you right there. And so my thing, what I could take away from this is, like, even though in the city is so huge, you really have to hone in, because I know a lot of people can't move out. I always say this, it's very hard, expensive for a little bathroom sized apartment and a closet if you're lucky, or they want you to build your own. Remember that open house we went to? The man was like, where's the closets? He was like, no, you can build. The Jewish man, build, you can build your own. Sir, if you don't get that $2,500 rent out of here, talking about build your own closet, child, talking about luxury apartments, let's talk about squeezing them luxury apartments in. Anyway, if you are not sitting there focused on your goals and what you got going on, you'll get caught up in the hype and then you end up not doing nothing. And that's what I realized. Because people will bring you out your house in New York to do absolutely nothing, and that's sometimes how you end up in these tumultuous situations. Okay, because they brought you out your house and you did not intend to get out your house today, but they like, oh, come to this open mic, I'm singing. No.
Yeah, since I stopped. I rather like create content to put online versus spend my night at an open mic.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to gain from
Unless
it.
it's like a date.
Or I'll put on an open mic if I have the time, and I'll be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just exposure.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
you know what I would respect about an open mic? If they gave you video footage. Like if it was properly produced to the point where you could use that same footage and you put it on your social media page. That's a fire idea. But they don't do that. They just want you to go up there and sing. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess it would be too much work to make that happen.
It was a
for
fire
other people.
mic. I'm just saying, like, yo, these people is like, yo,
They're not honest.
they're not trying to help you.
They're not.
Yeah, so that's what I learned about trying to sing and do stuff in New York. Is like, if you want to be regular and known in the New York scene, because New York is big, but it's small when you group it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, say you go New York content creators, you really by the third meeting you would know everybody in New York that create content.
Yeah, on the same level and intensity that you created.
On the third meetup.
Mm-hmm.
Say you go to open mic, you know every musician and every singer in New York. By the third open mic, because everybody passed through.
And they rotate.
Only thing like Brooklyn people, they kind of stay in Brooklyn. That's the thing about the boroughs. Brooklyn people don't like to travel. It's a weird. I don't know why they do that.
I don't know how.
The times that I went to the city for open mic, only a few times I see Brooklyn musicians came to the city.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they come to other open mics. So I know most of the musicians. Not like I know their name, but I know them. Like I know their name. I say, hey yo, I see you such and such a place. So it's small when you start to niche down. Like you know all the musicians. You know who play for who. You know who sing background, like the husband and wife.
Yeah,
they were always at an open mic. They sing for Ed Sheeran, but they was already made. They just came there to jam.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going there for that sole
yeah,
purpose,
if you made, it's cool. But if you're trying to get made, it's hard.
Yeah, because I really respect the thing about it. If you live here and you find someone genuine, you hold on to them. You say, thank you, Jesus, I found someone genuine. Because the amount of fugaziness that's here is crazy. The fugaziness is real here. And it's not to discourage anybody. It's just to say, come here with a goal. Don't get caught up in the hype. Even though it's very exciting. I'm not going to lie. Like, you'll see celebrities, like on the regular. You have to stay calm. Because everybody is cool like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they even come to the open mics.
The celebrities, right?
Of course. I saw Cuba used to pop out at the open mic on the regular.
Okay, see, you gotta talk in the mic.
Nah, I'm in the mic.
Okay.
I'm in the mic. I'm saying they celebrities normally come out, but I'm saying like what you realize in New York is that these people cannot help you.
They cannot help you, and and if they could, they'll withhold. You see, they'll withhold information because you can ask them how you get on. You see how you ask them how to get on the stage. Nobody will tell you that, hey, they putting their friends up first.
Now I realize because
you had to make that observation for yourself. Me, on the other hand, if somebody asks me a question, I'm being dead straight up honest with you. Like, it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? You're probably going to have to be struggling. You're probably going to have to get some canned food. You're probably going to have to visit a pantry. Hello? Join a church, get some free food, finesse your way to get to where you need to be. That's just the truth. But people sit here and lie and say, yo, you come here, everything going to be popping off. It's not going to be popping off. It's just not.
Yeah.
Because and one thing about these people is that we're so talented. There's so many people, so many different personalities that you got to realize that somebody could probably do what you do. You just have to do what you do and own it in your way.
Yeah,
you cannot think like, like in a small town. If someone fire in a small town, like say in Jamaica, where you from? Portland, Windsor Forest. There's someone fire there. Everybody's gonna know that person. Like the person who could cook, they're gonna point you to the direction. Please don't let this other person cook because they can't cook. They're gonna be honest with you. In New York, there's mad people that could do the same thing. I'm not talking about the plates, though. Y'all got to stop with the plates. Don't sell no plates because a lot of y'all can't cook. But as it relates to the, like being talented and stuff, There's another person that could do what you do. You just have to own what you do and have your own stuff going on. Because, like, if I was dependent on someone to have a studio so I can record this podcast, it probably will never get done. Because now there's this thing called reciprocity. So now I do this for you. You have to do this for me. And I don't like living like that. So even if you got to hustle to get to where you need to be, go on QVC, fix your credit. You know what I'm saying? Be on a payment plan. Use Klarna and Afterpay so you can get your equipment. It's better that you do that than running behind someone to get what they have. And that's what I'm gonna say on period. Yeah.
So that's just a whole from the train to the person living in New York. It's all a rush.
What's the rush?
What's the rush? The New York rush.
What's the rush?
I could do the rush because I'm from Jamaica and it's worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In Jamaica, it was mad times that I went to work on a step of a bus.
What do you mean?
The step. If you know what us in Jamaica.
Oh, like the part that in Jamaica, like the cheese bus.
Yeah, they got steps. Mad times I was on the second step. I didn't even make it to the main floor of the bus.
Did you pay?
Of course.
No, I'm just kidding.
So that's why when you come to America, like for Jamaicans, New York is easy. Because Kingston is way worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to be clutching your bag in Kingston because you have a lot of thieves. So
in New York too. Sometimes you get robbed. You don't even know you got robbed.
The only place that could beat Jamaica is Nigeria. Jamaicans are thieves.
And not Nigeria.
No, Nigeria is the worst.
Okay.
Nigeria is the worst.
You ever been?
No, my musicians' friends has been.
Okay, so this is a secondhand report. We have to make this clear.
Nah.
This is a secondhand. It's not a firsthand experience.
My teacher went on tour down there, and they stole his old suitcase with his passport and everything. Nigerians are thieves,
and so is Jamaica. So are
Jamaicans. A second. I give Jamaica a strong second. We are. So, in Jamaica, you have to clutch because they very crafty. Like Jamaicans, they cut your purse off your shoulder.
Okay.
So you can't walk with your purse loose.
And so I think the reason why though is because there's not a lot of law enforcement down there too. To catch them.
They're just thieves because the thing in Jamaica, you don't need law enforcement for thieves. We enforce the law ourselves on thieves.
Okay, that's true. Y'all have like the jungle justice.
That's more cause for concern for you.
You see how Jamaicans are? They start turning. When you start talking about New York, they start talking about Jamaica.
Nah. That's not what it is.
The transplant has spoken.
Nah, listen. No, I'm saying that you know we dominate Brooklyn. Don't behave like we don't. Jamaicans don't dominate Brooklyn,
and Haitians too.
But Jamaicans take the cake when it comes onto the islands, and it's because of that roughness in Kingston. I'm telling you, it's treacherous. So the fact that you could just walk and nobody takes your phone, you be walking Jamaica, somebody grab your phone and run.
Okay,
that's wild. Who steals a phone?
All right, I never got robbed. I'll say that. Let me knock on the wood. Thank you, Jesus. I never got robbed.
I got robbed once
in America.
In Jamaica.
I'm talking about in America though. I never got robbed.
Nah. Jamaica.
Praise the Lord.
Jamaica is treacherous.
I've seen people sniff crack. I've seen people I did get played. I almost got played on the train with the man with the one leg, but I never got robbed. Thank God. God is good. God is good in that sense. It's just, I feel like anywhere you go, it's just a matter of not only surviving, but thriving in an area. And I feel like the Lord has not just called us to survive, but to thrive, right? So for me, I'm at a place, and I'll say this, I'm not really thriving right now as it relates to where I want to be and what I want to do and things. I'm more of the surviving and trying my best to thrive in this area, even podcasting or living here, right? And I think that just using what you have, your resources, the people that you know, using Google, using material, right? That you've learned or that you've read and applying it will allow you to thrive in New York or in anywhere that you go. Like using what you have will allow you to thrive. You get what I mean? Because I feel like there's a part of New York that I haven't experienced, and that's because I'm not rich yet. Can we agree to that? Like there's a certain lifestyle that you can live and that you can uphold here, and that you will not be lacking of anything if you are definitely more financially stable. right? And more
Yeah,
there's a rich, opulent life that you can obtain, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's overrated.
Do you think it's overrated?
I do.
In what
because
sense?
it's the same building. It's just like a different axis. It's not nothing new.
I think respect wise,
It's not.
what do you mean?
It's just like you're gonna see a door open that you never seen open, but it's like it's nothing new to New York.
No, I agree with that, but I'm saying
it's the same crammed up.
It is,
area.
but what I think I would enjoy more, or what I would like to see, is how that translates as I move up the ladder. Does that make sense? Like, that's just something that I would like to experience. That's a personal goal, because I've always seen the struggle side of New York, the arguing for bacon, egg, and cheese. Like, yo, I was in line first. That type of vibe. I want to have the vibe where like I'm smooth sailing. Does that make sense?
I'm telling you, when that time comes, you're gonna run it far from New York.
No, what I'm saying is.
I remember,
what do you mean? Because I think we're talking about two different things.
No, my logistics in the city.
No, what are you talking about though?
I'm telling you that it's not. It's still the same clustered life.
I'm not talking about being clustered though. I'm talking about having the money. Like, this is what I'm saying. Having the money to just do what I want to do in New York.
It's the same clustered New York. I've been in most of these buildings.
All right, let me give you an example. What I mean, because maybe you don't understand what I'm trying to say. Me going to a basketball game versus me being in a suite. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about. I don't care about I'm talking about living the luxurious side of New York.
Where you gonna live that?
What I'm saying, I never said I wanted to live here. I said coming here and experiencing a different type of vibe. I'm saying, because I was born here, I want to experience New York in another way, not the struggle way, not the way where I don't want to spend $100 on an Uber because I can't, the way where I want to experience it. And that's fine. That's a personal goal. I never said you had to come with me. I just said that's something I would like to do.
I'm telling you, because Jamaicans are explorers.
Okay.
I've been all over New York City. Ain't nothing much to it.
That's great. Thanks for your insight. What I'm saying though, honey,
same dusty parking garage.
It's still dusty. I'm saying,
if you have money, your car will get pushed up on the ramp, or they always have a parking spot for you. All you're doing in New York with more money is buying more favors.
All right. All in all, what I'm trying to say is, I know it's the same dusty vibe. I know nobody's getting special treatment. I never said that. I'm talking about just coming here and not being like, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. Like, saying I want to do something, so I'm gonna do it. That's the only thing
guess what? I'm saying more money in New York buy you more favors. One,
it does.
The vibesiest part of New York is Brooklyn.
Okay.
If there is no food in downtown Manhattan that you will enjoy more than some Caribbean food.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. It just buy you more favors.
But even if so, my goals, because I'm from here, is to experience that. When you go back to Jamaica and you start your little companies.
Lie.
What are you talking? I never.
Sure would never.
Never do what?
Sure
would never do what?
Would never.
Never do what?
Not because you would never buy an ice cream. I don't see you being a billionaire, a trillionaire, and buying a $5 ice cream cone.
If I can, I would.
No.
No.
Certain stuff you don't pay extra money for.
Certain stuff I will. I will absolutely splurge on certain stuff, and that's what you don't like.
Sure.
Just like how you'll not splurge on the Jordans, but you'll buy. You see all this equipment? You see all this? I got certain stuff. How much these how much?
I don't remember.
Okay, thousands of dollars. High thousands. Okay, high. There's certain things you ain't buying. You ain't buying the Jordans. That's fine. You can sell this and buy all the Jordans you want, though. Same thing for me. There's certain things I wouldn't pay for, like a $5 ice cream, because I'm not doing that. That's a fact. I'm not. Never. I don't care. I could be with my kids. They mommy, we want ice cream. We go to the corner store. I'm not buying no $5 ice cream. I'm not. Okay. I'm not doing it. But you know what I will do? I will pay for experiences. Take me on a nice boat.
Okay.
Travel me across the
Okay.
let me see Lady Liberty.
You know what I'm gonna believe it because I'm still presently we together. So you got to show me something different. Whenever you stop price checking, then I'll believe it.
I'm always price check. I'm from New York. The ock down the block said it was $5.
I got to hide bills from you. Like, how much was this? Like, don't worry about how much it was.
I need to know.
Always price checking.
All right, so I got to work my way up so I don't price check.
So when you start price check, then I will.
I will always be a price checker.
All right.
Some of the stuff we have is because I price check and I got coupons. Use my code in the comments to download Fetch and for the first receipt. And use my code, okay? Download, scan your first receipt. I get some points. I could get a Starbucks card. Holla at your girl. Let me tell you something. You got to finesse. You got to use your coupons. You got to use your vouchers. You can't be stuck up. Go down to the office. Get your benefits. Don't be struggling in New York because you got pride. Make sure that you get what's yours. It's mine. I claim it, okay? Get what's yours. I'm gonna always price check. Period. I'll buy some luxurious stuff, but luxurious stuff ain't buying me. I want to know that I could sell something if junk hit the fan. So that's it.
It was a good episode. Wrap up.
Anyway, guys. These are just some tips that I have for you living in New York. Mainly, don't be afraid of taking the train. Just, go to your local meetings, see what they could do to enhance the system. Because, I don't live in that state no more. That's not my mayor. That's not my mayor no more.
Yeah, so
Bendito.
we call it speedy recovery to those who got hit.
Yeah, for those of you, for those of them who are injured, families prayed up. Like, I'm so grateful that nobody died, because I feel like it would have been even more hectic if we had to even hear about that, right? So yeah, so guys, this was a great episode of Surviving Your 20s, or should I say Surviving New York. Like, this is not to scare you or to make you feel like, oh, you shouldn't move here, or you should try to find a different vibe. Like I said, if you work New York will work with you. But if you definitely get caught up in a vibe or get caught up in hanging out or doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, it will definitely destroy you, because there's people that are doing the same thing negatively, and you'll find a crowd. Like, whatever you want to do, you'll definitely find a crowd. So if it's something good, you find a good crowd, and if it's something bad, you find a bad crowd. All I say is just make sure you got your personal self together, and know that you can be different. You don't have to fit into a group, or you don't have to try to fit in where people want to put you. Like, you could definitely be a part of the group and also be your own individual, right? So don't run behind people. Just try your best to have a strong sense of self and identity, so that you don't get lost in the sauce, right? So that's my advice. And if you guys want to hear me talk more about New York and share more of my stories and my experiences, just let me know. I know this is a Christian podcast, and I know that, God is always where I am, period. So I'm stay prayed up, y'all. Stay prayed up. And don't forget, holla at me. I made this shirt. I do custom shirts. We have a podcast going. And Carrot and I are now doing online podcasts. And we have a studio in Brooklyn where we do podcasts. I have a print tree all up in this house. Like, we're getting to the bag, okay? So let this be an encouragement to you to get your things going on. You get what I'm saying? This is not rented equipment. And it's not to stunt on nobody. It ain't mine, but it's Carrot's. It's ours now because I'm married. This ain't rented. We own this. Period. Okay, so thank you for tuning into Surviving Your 20s podcast. Make sure you hit me up at surviving20spod@gmail.com. So that's surviving20spod@gmail.com. Hit me up on Instagram at surviving 2.0, and hit me up on my personal Instagram, Charlene _ so SHARLENEEEE_ okay? I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Later.